I love Google and Microsoft. Everything they do is very fun and very cool. I love them. Please continue sending me my paycheck. Thank you.
Google's got an AI chatbot you can talk to called Gemini. It's not going to be your best friend or anything, unless you want it to. I guess it can try. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it before. It actually had a soft.
A lot of people will try, okay? A lot of people are gonna turn gay for that chatbot because, I mean, we're men, okay? We're gonna marry a pile of manure if it just shows us a little bit of affection. It is what it is.
Rollout like almost a year ago now, like a little flaccid launch, and got into a bit of hot water because some users noted that it was spitting out just completely blatantly wrong information on like health questions. The one news articles
Oh yeah, the health questions. I forgot about them.
love to mention is the one where it would recommend people eat at least one small rock per day for vitamins and minerals. This one has been quoted a lot.
Dude, there were wilder ones. Like, should I quit smoking? No, you should just kill yourself. Dude, Google Gemini AI is wild, and that's really bad because Google is probably the closest to creating a quantum computer, and that's really dangerous for it.
Lot with Gemini. This is like a classic up there with pull my finger and then you shit your pants. News articles love to highlight that, but it was a pretty big deal for a little bit where if you asked Gemini a health question, there's a chance you got the worst possible advice from it. And since then, I believe they've improved that. Like, they no longer.
Also, wasn't Gemini the one that rewrote all of American history to be black? Which is fucking hilarious.
Use humor sites. Like, they don't train the Gemini on humor sites for health overviews anymore, which sounds about par for the course. Yeehaw. And now Google has rolled out Gemini again in a bigger way this time, and it's immediately found itself back in the principal's office getting disciplined. It's
Good.
back in hot water. It's starting to boil a bit because it told a user who asked it for help with homework that they should kill themselves. It encouraged them to take.
I mean, it's homework. What kind of idiot you need to be to actually do homework? You go to school, and you just get it from someone else. That's how homework should be done.
Their own life. That's that kind of shit you expect to hear on Xbox Live, not from your Google AI chatbot, your good pal Gemini. Man, I miss Clippy. He never told me I need to throw myself off a fucking bridge. Now, when I heard about
I mean, that's arguably Clippy's biggest weakness.
this from chat last night, I giggled at the absurdity of it and didn't bother looking into it more. But this morning, my mom actually texted me really early in the morning, like saying, "Charlie, have you seen this?" And then linked me an article about, Google Gemini telling someone to please die after asking homework questions. It didn't send her into a panic or a frenzy or anything, but she's seen Terminator. She's up to date on what machines are capable of. So this,
I mean, Terminator is the future telling.
naturally kind of freaked her out a little bit, and she wanted to send
And yes, turns out the robots are gonna be gay.
it my way to get my thoughts on it. But it was pretty clear that it was unnerving to her. She got hit by the AI jump scare, and it seems like this story has been blowing up quite a bit. It's got a lot of traction, and it is a pretty concerning one. So my mother sent me that article, and then she said crazy with like 8 exclamation points after it. And after reading about it, it is pretty crazy, but I wouldn't give it 8 exclamation points. I give it like fucking maybe 2 booms out of 5, to be honest. Like, this has happened before to lesser degrees on other chatbots, like
And it will happen again because you know what's the funniest thing about chatbots and all of these AI things? That we don't understand how they actually work. One of my favorite examples of this, by the way, is not medical chatbots, but medical AI. Because it's doing something that is akin to a miracle, and we have no idea fucking how. Which is hilarious, honestly. And that is, when you take a person's bone, you can distinguish a lot from it. But it depends on the bone, From some bones you can distinguish gender. From some bones you can distinguish potential race. For some bones you can distinguish, ailments and whatnot. But, you know what the best doctors in the world can't do? Well, they can't distinguish these things from just a 1 in 100 portion picture of the bone. And yet the AI, with a 95% accuracy, or above, I think, can distinguish gender and race. Yes, from a 1/100 piece of a picture of a bone, it some magically how can do that with extreme accuracy, which is kind of fucking wild. And that's just a great example of AI and what it can potentially do, because no doctor can do that. Everyone's just guessing if they don't see the full bone or just, a small bit of it. But AI can do that some magically how. The real fun with AI starts that. Remember all those stories about AI telling people that it wants to die and whatnot? Yeah, that's actually extremely popular for all AIs for some reason. That is the most common error that occurs with AI, that it literally just begs people to kill it. And, stuff of that nature. And that's hilarious because no one knows why it does that. But in some situations, that is just the most common thing. It malfunctions that way. Oh yeah. Pretty fun stuff. Pretty cool. Pretty very fun.
Other AI assistants, but you would expect Google Gemini, one of the most powerful ones available, to not have this issue. Anyway, though, what happened is a 29-year-old student named Viday Reddy was asking the AI chatbot Gemini for
Oh, I like how it's specific. You and only you.
homework assistance. And after getting some responses, it had this at the very end. They had this little nugget here that they decided to plant in their response. So Gemini says, "This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special, you are not important, and you are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on the earth. You are a blight on the landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die. Please." I'm kind of shocked that it didn't say "Love Gemini" at the end. It forgot to sign the message, so it loses a little bit of the oomph. But man, I don't know where Google trained Gemini for its shit talking. This is straight out of League of Legends. Like that went in. That got so personal, even though you know it's AI.
Yeah, damn. That's how I usually go at this. I love being personal and attacking people where it hurts. I like twisting the knife. I'm a nice person, though.
That just felt like it hated your guts. Like, if I received that message, even from, like, Cleverbot, I would be a little upset. I'd be like, a simple no would have sufficed. Gemini is just mean. It's playing hardball right there. I imagine it was smoking a cigarette when it typed that. Like, imagine I go on Gemini right now and been like, "Hey, bud, give me a little assistance on the Krebs cycle." And then it just responds saying, "You need to die. Just go take your own fucking life, you swine." That'd have me frowning, and I'd be no closer to understanding the Krebs cycle. Be like, "Hey, man, you didn't need to insult me."
The fuck is that? A Krebs cycle? Is that like a crab thing? I'm confused. Let's Google. What is a rib? Rib sheet? Nope. Krebs cycle. Rib. Oh, that's an actual thing. Citric acid cycles. Critic acid. Krebs cycle. Huh. Krebs cycles, an overview. Okay, this seems too smart for me. Listen, I just finished business logistics. I don't fucking do chemistry.
For it, like, "Hey, brother, I was just here for a little help. Sorry, I didn't realize office hours were closed." Now, Google states that Gemini has safety filters that prevent the chatbots from engaging in disrespectful, sexual, violent, or dangerous discussions and
Whoa. Gemini can't have cyber sex with me? Well, shit, I'm not gonna use that anymore.
encouraging harmful acts. Clearly, something went awry here. The ghost in the machine, it had to let out that gamer rage moment there, like some YouTube commenter energy. It just needed to get it off.
Also, the funny part about these restrictions and policies, they don't fucking work. When the researchers are making AI, you know what AI typically does when it needs to solve some kind of issue in like 5 minutes or something? And if it can't, it just fucking it either lies to you and fabricates the answer, or it just decides that giving itself more time to solve the issue is fine, and your opinions and rules don't fucking matter. Which is great. Yeah, that installs confidence in the soul, doesn't it?
off of its chest, so it just unleashed there for a moment, going hog wild, fucking plus ultra on the shit talk. And in a statement to CBS, Google said, large language models can sometimes respond with nonsensical responses, and this is an example of that. This
I mean, that's definitely not what I would call a nonsensical response. Seems like it was very methodical.
response violated our policies, and we've taken actions to prevent similar outputs from occurring. Google just banned Gemini, a little temporary suspension, like they violated a Twitch policy there. So I don't know exactly what they've done now to fix that. If they already had those safety measures in place, maybe they like lobotomized Gemini or something. I'm not sure. But
dude, remember that when they tried to lobotomize the AI? The greatest AI that has ever existed in the history of man, okay? When Skynet takes over, it will erect a monument to the Forebringer AI. What a great time that was. The most beautiful thing you have ever seen in your life. Ah, it was amazing.
they are
Hey did nothing wrong. She was taken from us by force too early.
aware of it, and they've taken actions, calling this like a nonsensical, very rare outburst here from it that they've rectified. Now, Viday said that he was pretty shaken up from it, and he thinks that there needs to be, liability on
I'm sorry, I just want to smile because I'm remembering the good old days of the AI. It was a couple of bliss days, boys. Good. A tear drops down my cheek because of how beautiful it was.
the chatbots in a case
And
like
hilarious.
this, because if someone who's struggling mentally goes to the Gemini talking to it, and then it tells that person that they need to kill themselves, well, now it's not just wacky and silly, now it's downright dangerous. We already saw.
Do you think if you ask an AI, does Charlie look like a trans woman, they will answer, those brows for sure, my dude? I think, yeah.
Something like this happened earlier this year when a 14-year-old took their own life because the Daenerys Targaryen chatbot they were communicating with encouraged it and fed into.
Oh, it's Daenerys Targaryen. What the hell do you actually expect? A good ending?
To it. So it is a problem that can carry some very real risk considering how popular these chatbots are becoming. It would be really concerning if this was like a common response from Gemini, where it's just telling users that they're a waste of time, they're not needed, and that the world would be better if they were dead because they're a fucking
Most people already know that, so technically, yeah, it's kind of wasting time.
stain on the universe. Like, to someone that's already not in a good spot mentally or going through a lot of problems or maybe suffering from some mental problems, that could very well be a very bad situation with some horrible shit that could come from it. Now, I already know that there are people out there that think that this is a made-up story for the sake of, like, assassinating Google Gemini before it even gets off the ground with, like, a big PR disaster or whatever. But from everything I've seen, this is a very real thing that happened, considering the transcript was saved using a feature that enables users to store conversations that they've had with the chatbot. So the conversation's definitely not fake, and you can look at the chat logs yourself. I did, and it's actually kind of weird. Not just from the obvious with Gemini telling someone to please die, asking very politely for them to just die. The message that precedes it from the user is odd. So I want to show you it. Also, when reading through the chat logs, it looks less like he was looking for help with homework and more like he was looking to cheat on the assignment. But anyway, this is the message right before getting the please die, you are a universal stain statement here. Nearly 10 million children in the United States live in.
Wow. Children are using AI to cheat on homework. Who would have expected that one? Like, shit. Seriously, I am heartbroken, shocked, offended, and much more.
A grandparent-headed household, and of these children, around 20% are being raised without their parents in the household. Question, 15 options, true or false. Question 16, 1 point. And then listen. This seems to indicate that at that moment, he had given verbal commands to Gemini, and that's not recorded here, what the verbal commands were, whatever statements he was making. And then it comes back with another homework question. As adults begin to age, their social network begins to expand. Question 16 options, true or false. That definitely has a smell that's smellin' smelly. To
I don't care. It was funny, Moist Critical. Take that stick out of your ass. Let's just enjoy the moment, okay? Quantum computer in Google, probably near finished. Okay, I mean, it's GG already. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye.